Okay guys, I've been monkeying around with my graphics settings, so hopefully this should come up to YouTube a bit better, make the text a little bit more readable. This is about your cockpit and your multifunction displays. So on our cockpit, just the elements very quickly. Top left hand corner is our comms panel, shows you text coming from other commanders or NPCs or system scans, or if you've been fined for breaching docking protocol, that type of thing, comes up in your comms box. Over in the top right hand corner, info, this is where your scans and your activity gets reported. So if you do a cargo scan on someone or a warrant scan on someone, you get information in that panel. In the bottom right hand corner is our targeting display. So this point I'm targeting a Coriolis station. It's Hiroyuki Vision. It's at 15.5 kilometres away. It tells us who actually owns the station. It's Jet Federal Incorporated. The next element along is just a hologram of the target. It's good in combat because it shows you which way that your opponent is facing, and whether they're diving or climbing in relative terms to yourself. In the middle is the elite radar, if you like. So your ship represents or your viewpoint actually represents the flat plane, and your objects around you are either above that plane, as you see on the stalk, or they're below that plane. If I invert that over, it's probably getting washed out a bit, but there you go. Oh. Somebody's breached protocol and just got spaced. See that you can see there now they're below your plane, so it helps you find these guys. Around that display, on the left side is your heat meter. We'll go into heat a bit later when we talk about silent running and other things like that. On the right hand side of it is your throttle. If you throttle up, this is gonna cause a lot of noise because I haven't turned my sound down. When you throttle up, you can see that blue bar there. If you keep your throttle in that blue area, your ship is basically the most manoeuvrable. I'll go through that in the flight model. The next element along is your ship stats. So in this case I've got my 3 blue rings around my hauler, my Space Winnebago, so my shields are at full capacity, and I have 95% of my hull remaining. The next element is, this is if you played Descent Free Space or X-Wing TIE Fighter, those type of games, this is your power that you're putting into your different systems. So your systems, your engine and your weapons, and how much you put into each determines how fast your weapons recharge, how fast your turbo boost recharges for your engines. In fact, with your engines, it also determines where that blue bar is in your throttle. If I take some power out of my engines, that blue bar on my throttle moves. That means now I'm moving at a slower speed to be my most manoeuvrable, but at the same time I'm moving at a slower speed, so someone can still manoeuvre faster than I can. I'll talk much more about that later in the flight model. And then the final element in your main screen is basically your fuel gauge, and 3 indicators for ship status, whether you're mass locked, which means you cannot turn on your frame shift drive, which means you can't enter supercruise or you can't hyperspace. You're restricted to sort of normal space thrust activities. Whether your landing gear is up and down, lowering your landing gear reduces your maximum speed because of space drag or some wacko thing. And the cargo scoop is also the same. If you have your cargo scoop open, you experience a space drag and can't move as fast as you normally would. It also changes your targeting element to the left of your radar to give you the cargo bay loading graphic, so that you can line up properly on cargo canisters and scoop them into your bay. Multifunction displays. So your left one is mostly about your navigation. From here you can see what is in the current system, how far away they are, and then you can also get into the galaxy map and the system map. Transactions is I've got a bounty. Transactions is where your bounties are recorded. So if you've successfully bounty hunted someone, or you've undertaken a combat mission, also any other sort of missions that you undertake where you if somebody wants you to haul 10 tonnes worth of tea out to some impoverished miners out in the back or beyond, you know, and they're paying you a premium to go do that. You know, your transactions are recorded here of, you know, where to go, how much to take, how much they're going to pay you, and how long you've got to get it there, and how much they're going to fine you when you don't. Contacts is everything in your local space. So at the moment, there's only the Coriolis starport that my sensors can pick up. From here, I can do things like lock that target in, or request docking, and do other things at that target. Sub-targets. My Coriolis station has no sub-targets, but if I was attacking a capital ship, I can target subsystems, or if I'm attacking another ship, I might want to rattle away on their frame shift drive to try and stop them from escaping, or try and breach their power plant. It doesn't work too well on the smaller ships. On the bigger cargo haulers, you can do things like, you know, rattle up their cargo bay to make them, you know, accidentally eject cargo. Yeah, there's not a lot for it. It's mostly used in capital ship cargo. And cargo, if you do a cargo scan of someone, you get to see what they're carrying. On our right-hand side display, our first one is our status. So our ranks: combat rank is harmless, peddler, an aimless explorer. I have 286,000 credits. Rewrite cost for my ship is 2,500 credits. Nothing in my local bounty and my local reputation in the system, and with these system factions that are active in this system is largely neutral. Finance screen in here as well for my status. That's largely what I've already just told you about. My statistics, if you get a boner for, you know, how many times you've shot and missed, or how much you've spent on munitions, or, you know, how much combat bounty or assassinations you've done, and how many crimes you've done, and smuggling that you've done, and trading, all that. That's it. I don't know, some people like that shit. Permits, if you've got them. System permits you generally have to earn by getting you know, rank with these corporations. If you bought into the beta, you get a Sol system permit. You can go to Sol straight away. They have a sort of built-up reputation with those rich sods that live there. And the Founders World permit is for certain beta testers. And it's basically a world that you can go to and, you know, just have a circle jerk because you're the only people that can go there. It's important. Modules is where you manage your ship power. Now, my space hauler, you can see on the bottom there, my space hauler has my power plant's fine, so it has 100% output, and I'm only using 69% of my total power. If I was a war ship, a combat ship, it's better to say, something like a Viper, when I, you know, lob out, you know, when I deploy my hard points, and all my lasers come online, you know, possibly I'm using more than my total amount of power that I can generate, and so I have to come in here and, you know, possibly turn some things off. I might turn off non-essential systems like my cargo racks and my cargo bay controller, because I'm trying to go into battle here. I'm not interested in my cargo. And I may even go and turn off my life support and actually just breathe canned air for a very short period of time in my suit, you know, just to get an edge. Fire groups, on the Space Winnebago, I don't have any weapons installed, but if I had them, this is where I would configure them, and groups and that type of jazz. Cargo is what I'm hauling. Also with refineries are also in the screen as well for space mining. I'll go through that in a separate video. And finally, functions. This is where, you know, this is just the checklist for your ship, basically. You know, whether your landing gear's up or down, or you're on silent running, or your ship lights are on, or your gun sight mode is leading or trailing, and all that kind of crap. You know, you can do that all in here. You know, nobody really cares. Most of what people use this for in the functions is on the left-hand side. It does tell you your ship, but that's not really important. It's your jump range that's important. So my jump range at the moment is 11.76 light years out of a total of 12.44, because there's certain things around how much cargo I'm carrying, how much fuel I have available, and all these other things that all wrap up together. And that can be pesky, because you get caught in these sort of islands where there's these groups of stars which are all clumped together, and you need to have a 15 light year range just to get over that hump into the next group. And you've got to muck around and try and buy, limit your cargo and buy new frame shift drives and all this other things. So yeah, they're the main elements of the. Sorry about that. So they're the main elements of the cockpit. Your cockpit, does the framework of your cockpit does change a small amount depending upon what ship you're in. The Space Winnebago here has that lovely pleather look to it. The Cobra looks very metallic and very sort of old school functional. The Viper has like a fighter cockpit style feel to it. So yeah, all of those things. More videos coming. I hope this text comes out better for you.